Welcome to the episode of Jay Leno's Garage. The car in front of you is a 1957 Porsche Speedster 356. This is what they call an outlaw car. That means you take what was originally a Porsche and you modify it. And the gentleman who did this did just a beautiful, beautiful job. His name is Charlie Olenyk. Charlie, come in here. Or Chuck, you like Chuck, right?
Hey, I'll take either one.
Okay.
Hi, Jay. Thank you for having us on here.
I saw this car was advertised up at Fantasy Junction, which is a place that advertises cars, and they do specialty cars. And this one caught my eye just because it was so beautifully done. And this is something you did in your shop, at your home, pretty much by yourself, correct?
Well, I did all the fabrication of the car. First of all, I did a ton of rust repair to the car. It's a poor old Michigan car. It was we call them deer feeders out there.
Right.
Cars with out in the back 40 with a hay bale in them for all the years, and I bet I've got a good 500 hours in just repairing the rust and the rockers and the floors and
now
for 6 inches.
To anybody that might say, "Oh my gosh, you butchered a classic car," you had this car a long time and you couldn't even get rid of it at one point, correct?
No. Back in the 90s, I ran ads in Hemmings, and the guys. No response. Tried to sell it for about $1,000 as a roller, and no one wanted it.
Well, that's I kind of get mad at purists that say, "Oh my God, you've ruined it." But it was a car that was too far gone at the time to restore, so you made it into a classic speedster, and beautifully, beautifully done. It's not fiberglass; it's all metal, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about the car. Obviously, it sits a little bit lower than stock, doesn't it?
It does. It's lowered. It does have. We've gone with Fuchs mags, so it's kind of what I tried to do with this car is try to build a car that maybe was a coulda-been, shoulda-been car using all factory parts. It has a B transmission in it rather than an A transmission. Better shifting, a little more positive shifting. C brakes from a C model Porsche, so they're disc brakes. Early 911 Fuchs mags. These are used, and these are called Fuchs deep dishes with hearts.
Right.
And if you look at one of the spokes where the valve stem is, it has the shape of a heart. So these are kind of sought after mags. Many of the, a large portion of the time just went into repairing all the rust in it. The floors, the rockers, the entire bottom of the car had rusted away for about the first 6 inches. So that was even before I could take the top off, because the top was actually holding the structure together.
Right. Well, that's the real heart and soul of these kind of projects. A guy like Chuck who does the whole thing himself. It's really a labor of love, and the amount of hours you put in, it probably comes out to about $5 an hour by the time you're done, because you put so much effort into it.
You think I made that much on it?
I don't know. Well, I'm just trying to please the wife. Oh, we made $5 an hour. That's pretty good. But anybody that does this kind of work knows how hard it is, and it's really hard when you're working alone and you're doing it yourself. I mean, this did not come out of a professional restoration shop, but your garage at home, correct?
It did. Now I've had a lot of practice, and I've helped a lot of other guys with their projects for years, and but you're absolutely right. I'm self-taught. I changed careers, and it was a hobby, and I started getting into it, and more and more, and I practice on everybody else's cars, and then I finally did one.
Then you put it on your own.
Yeah. So
Tell me about this roof. Nicely done. That's a lot harder to do than it looks, isn't it?
Original Speedster top frames are unobtainium. They're so valuable. So this top frame is from a replica. It's from the Intermechanica folks, along with the windshield frame too. But I did, with the help of a fellow in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, Rod Klingenhofer, I think is how his name is pronounced, but Rod Hoff Designs. He helped me redesign this top. I had some sketches and actually did some Photoshop of what I thought it should look like. But he lowered the back bow, and originally the top bow was, this is a low bow Speedster frame, and the top bow was actually about this position. So we cut the bow down, reskinned the top, and gave it a really updated look to it. So.
Well, that's what I love. Michigan is just like Silicon Valley is where all the techno geeks are now. Michigan is where all the car guys are, and it's just, there's so much history there in terms of metalworking, and you got the old guys who pass it on to the younger guys like yourself, and hopefully you pass it on to the next generation as well. Let's go around the car. Can we open the front hood? Let's see. And the nice thing is it's all metal, correct? No fiberglass, as I said.
There's no fiberglass, no.
We're nicely done. And that's got to be a lot of fun to put gas in, isn't it? Just
Well, especially, I didn't mention that, one of the issues with the car is that it got a little, punch in the nose down the road at one time. The hood was buckled. And something I didn't discover until long after I was done with all the body and paint work is that the hood hinges were, mounts were clocked a little bit down. Okay. So now the hood doesn't sit up very high. Oh. So
what year did you buy the car?
I think I bought it in the, would have been the early 90s.
Early 90s, okay, very good. And how many years of work to get it to this point?
I think I've got about 2,000 hours in it over 7 years.
Over 7 years?
Yep.
Well, it's certainly just beautifully, beautifully done. Let's go around to the engine compartment. Well, certainly a nice clean engine compartment. Now, which engine is this? Is this the original 356?
No, it's actually out of a Porsche 912.
Okay.
So it would have been after 356s were the series ended.
Right.
But it's very similar to the last 356 SC motor.
Right.
So this one is it's essentially a stock motor, but it does have a big bore kit, so it's a 1720 cc motor. Yeah. The fellow who he's a racer out of Michigan, Vic Skurmatz, it's his camshaft, a street cam. It does have the electronic ignition buried under the distributor cap. So,
what kind of horsepower are you getting here? About 115, you think, something like that? Much?
Hopefully, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I built the exhaust for this guy, and it's a Bursch exhaust, but basically big tube Bursch exhaust. But I incorporated some little bottle mufflers that I built. Oh, so they're like little steel pack mufflers.
Yeah.
And so it's good for at least 15 more ego horsepower, when you jump on it. Just
well,
great
it sounded great when you brought it in, and the level of workmanship here is just beautiful. Look how nicely everything is done. I just see so many bad, quickie jobs, and this is just nicely, nicely done. Beautiful, beautiful job.
The engine is just a stout little guy. It zips right up to red line. It's just, it is peppy. That was built by a fellow in Western Michigan, too. Tim Thatcher of Euro Auto Works did a magnificent job.
What is the red line, about 65?
I hope not. Well, once or twice, but it's more like, low 50s.
Low 50, 58, something like that. Well, God, just beautiful.
Maybe 54.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out in a few minutes. Right?
No.
Nicely done. And the paint, is that a Porsche silver?
It's a later model Porsche silver. It has a little more sparkle to it than what they originally put on back in the 50s. It's a base coat, clear coat, so it's a modern technology.
Can we put the top down?
We sure can.
Now that we've seen how the top works and how it looks.
There's a little snap on each side.
Goes down easy enough, doesn't it?
And then you just pull up on
this way.
On that guy.
Okay, there we go.
Tuck it behind the seats, and that's it.
And you have your tonneau cover right here. We got to put that on. So
absolutely.
Here we go.
Yeah, tuck the ear of the top.
So we got the ear in. What are the seats out of?
These are custom made by a firm called GTS Classics, and they're kind of based on the 911 RS seat. And so it has, old Porsche, actually 914 style basket weave look, or not basket weave, but perforated vinyl like that. And also, what he did is the 911 is more of a straight across flat design.
Yeah.
They incorporated a bit of a round tubing up here and then readjusted their patterns to give it a bit more of a speedster look.
Nicely done. And is that a stock dash? I'm not familiar enough with these to know.
No, it's my combination of a speedster dash and maybe a 550 RS dash.
Well, very nice interpretation. And the steering wheel itself, it looks smaller than stock, is it?
I had a roached old A steering wheel that I used the hub for. I split it down the middle and incorporated a steering wheel from a sprint car from a guy named Randy Sweet in Michigan. And it's then had it all welded back together. It's all aluminum, so we finished off all the welds, sent it up to Autos International out here, who stitched a nice leather
That's a 4-speed or 5-speed?
It's 4-speed.
4-speed, classic 4-speed. With that in mind, let's take it for a ride. You know, the most impressive thing about Porsches from this era, like my 63 Twin Cam, is the build quality. And this really has that build quality. It's nice and tight. There's no cowl shake. There's nothing rumbling or buckling. It's, boy, it just seems almost bulletproof. Nicely done. Well, great sound. Find some open road.
These roads make me regret selling this guy. You know,
I
mean,
that's what California's all about.
Oh man, that's.
You know, this is proof you don't need a lot of horsepower to have fun. I mean, 100, 115 horse and a light car like this, boy, it's plenty. And you know, one thing I always say that's a lot of fun with modern supercars, as much fun as they are, this you get a chance to enjoy watching the tack sweep across. You know, you put it in second, you put your foot in it, you got one eye on the road, the other eye on the tack, just as it sweeps across, and then you make a shift. It's just very, very nice. Let's take it up on the freeway, see how it cruises, and then we'll go down Latuna Canyon and see how it handles. California's all about. Still a 6-volt car. It's the kind of road you want to drive in a car like this. A fast 2-lane road with some curves in it. You know, this is a great car to drive swiftly. Not necessarily really fast, because that's dangerous. But driving swiftly, you get a real sense of feel to the car. The handle's very nice, it's very tight. And on a fast 2-lane road, you know, I've said this many times, all the fun happens between 40 and maybe 110. And that's where this car is perfect. You know, the great thing about Outlaw Porsches is they're not just hot rods. You know, a lot of guys just put a big engine in something, and it doesn't handle as well, doesn't stop as well. Whereas this is a complete car. You don't get brake fade. You've got reliability far beyond what it would have been new. Just a beautiful, beautiful job. Wow, what a thrill this has been. You know, guys like Chuck, this is the real heart and soul of the hobby. Guys that do stuff in their own garages, using tools they have. I mean, we have a nice shop here, and I got a lot of guys that can do a lot of work, but I envy guys like him who can do the whole thing himself. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Just a beautiful job. It looks like a factory car. I can't wait. What's your next project going to be?
Hey, we've got, I'm currently working on a 66 GT350.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I've owned it since '77, so it's...
well, it's time to get started.
I think so.
Chuck, thank you very much. Thank you very much. What a thrill to see
Jay.
this kind of car. Really, really nice. We'll see you guys next week. it.